And Democratic Senator Tom Udall of New Mexico. He's a member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. And while Bob Corker, who you just heard voicing his frustration, voted with the president in support of an authorization, you, sir, voted against it. Have you heard Democrats speak similarly to what we just heard from the Republican senator from Tennessee?
No, I haven't.
No, okay.
No, I haven't. I've been visiting very widely today and the last couple of days, and I think for the most part, I think everybody was very supportive of what the president did last night. And I know, as far as I feel, this diplomatic path that we're on right now is a good one. I think we're stronger when we work with the rest of the world and try to work through the UN. So
But you remain opposed to the use of force, to the authorization?
Yes. Well, there were a couple of things on the authorization. I tried to narrow it, and it ended up getting a little bit broader. There's language in there that seems to suggest kind of regime change, when I thought all the president was asking for was to do a missile strike that had specifically to do with chemical weapons. And so those were some of the issues we were dealing with. And then I really thought, Jake, we hadn't exhausted our diplomatic, our political, and our economic options here.
And having heard the president speak last night, do you have any better idea of what the president wants to achieve, or do you feel like you're getting mixed messages the way that a lot of Americans and a lot of lawmakers, Democrats and Republicans, have said they're not really sure? Is it going to be a strike that is not a pinprick, is serious, or is it going to be an unbelievably small strike, as Secretary of State John Kerry said? Are you more clear on what the president wants to do?
I'm not, because they didn't allow us to look at the military plans. I mean, that would be getting way out in front of themselves. So I don't think that any of us really know what the strike's all about. But I think the important thing in terms of achievement is the president clearly wants to focus on the idea that no longer can chemical weapons be used in Syria. And if he gets an agreement that's a good agreement through the UN, so that they're going to give up their chemical weapons, you've achieved one major thing there. And as your previous guest talked about, obviously at some point, because you have a civil war there, you're going to have to try to put in place a much more substantial, stable, moderate government. And that may be a lot further off than what we can achieve at the UN in terms of the chemical weapons.
Last question, sir. I know we're all very hopeful for a peaceful resolution to this, but do you think the United States can trust Putin and can trust Assad to really pursue this exit strategy?
Well, I think we have to pursue it. The question is...
But what does your heart tell you?
My heart tells me trust but verify.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, you've heard that before
right.
Many times. And so I think we need to work with him. We need to pin it down. We're going to work on language at the UN.
How much time should we give for this to work?
I think we should let it run its course. And I think the president's people, I think the Secretary of State, Samantha Power, are all going to be involved in terms of whatever the deadline should be. But the key is to not let it drag out and to us be led down the road and get nothing out of this. But let's work through it, and I think it's a very promising thing.